Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. Well, when you get here, when the notifications go out, it'll be good to see you. I'll turn my volume down on my phone, too. I don't know why that's the one thing I always forget to do. It's like there's a million little things that you set up to do this, and the one I forget is to mute my phone. I tell you. Anyway, hi. It's Wednesday again. In case you didn't know, happy hump day. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. So I thought I'd do my green today, do my St. Patrick's Day thing, since I won't be live tomorrow. Not doing anything in particular. Not even making a special meal. I don't usually celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I used to when I was young and liked to go out and drink and all that stuff. I'd take the day off and go get stupid all day. But I don't do that anymore. First off, I don't work. Well, I do. I do YouTube. That's my job. But I've had enough hangovers, thanks. I don't do hangovers anymore. I remember one St. Patrick's Day. I don't remember how it ended. I do remember, I know I got home because I woke up in my own bed. And in a way, that was kind of sad. Sorry. Where is everybody today? Come on. Where are you? As I sit here and straighten out my cards, I figured from now on, you guys want me to read for you? Ask me a specific question to read on. Not just a general give me a card. Something in specifically, you know? Challenges me more. Hey, Crystal, good to see you, darling. Yeah, it challenges me more if you want me to read on a specific question. So, I prefer that. Yeah. So apparently you got your notification. You knew though, because we were talking earlier today. Yeah, the other day, where was I? I was watching the Soul Sisters, and it took 5 minutes or so for the notifications to go out. I couldn't believe it. I was already sitting in there when my notification finally arrived. It was like, thanks, YouTube, for being on top of things. Oh, thank you. It's new. It's fun. Hey, here, you need the shade on your ears. All I ever had before were like trucker caps and baseball caps. They don't really protect your ears from your nose. They protect your nose from getting sunburned, but not your ears. So you did get the notification again. Cool. Yeah, they don't protect your ears so much. And I'm not a big cowboy kind of girl, cowboy hat girl, but I do like the prairie girl kind of wider rimmed fedora look. So I've just lately been accumulating hats again. When I had my really short hair, I didn't wear very many hats. So now that it's all long, yeah, I didn't feel like dealing with my hair today. So I decided to stick it in pigtails. He came a minute late. Dang YouTube. Hey, I didn't do anything. I haven't done anything yet. I was just talking about if you guys want a card, you need to ask me a specific question to read on. Makes it a lot more fun. That's the whole idea of personal readings. And if you want to ask me a political one, I'll read on it. That's cool. I'll do that. Just understand that not everyone in here will always like what I say because I will taint it. because I do have skin in this game. Serious skin in the game. And I'm just saying my conservative channel members are the ones that won't like it because I'm a progressive. And if you didn't realize that I'm a progressive by how much I preach love and harmony and equality for everyone, that shouldn't be a surprise. Don't hear a lot of conservatives talking about harmony, love, and equality for everyone. They talk bottom line and profit. I come from a family of them, so I'm just saying. They think I'm nuts. So I asked them one time if any of them ever volunteered because they're very religious. You ever go feed people at the gospel mission on Thanksgiving or Christmas instead of stuffing your family's faces? See how the other half lives? And I got treated like I had mentioned going, I don't know, to a titty bar on Christmas and New Year's. I said the gospel mission. Come on. Yeah. And their kids were like, oh, I think that's a wonderful idea. And the parents were like, okay, thanks, Katie. Good idea, but we have our own things, charities that we deal with. So that was keep your progressive attitudes and ideas to yourself. Hello. That's a Christian attitude. That is a true attitude of what Jesus of Nazareth taught. Love, harmony, and equality for everyone. Love one another as I have loved you. And he loved us with his life. So, hey, just saying. No, I'm not going to give you a sermon from the pulpit. I could, but I won't. Because I don't do that anymore. The sermon from the pulpit nowadays even tells people how to vote. And sorry, I don't get it. Here's something I'll talk about, though. Look what I got. This is the coolest cookbook, coloring book. If you saw my video on Flow, one of my guests, Santa Rose, this is her coloring book that she designed in 2018. It is for sale on Amazon. I will put the link in the description for you so that when the video is over, you can go and order it if you'd like. It's awesome. It is full of, I have one marked here. It is full of different beautiful affirmations like something good will happen today. Keep your vibes high. Color. Do a little coloring, you know. I am full of joy. This one. Little improvements make huge difference. Make a huge difference. And then this one, I love this one. I can see the solutions I can see the solutions to my problems. It's just the coolest cookbook. Coloring book. And the cover is really cool too because it has that plasticky finish that they're putting on the new tarot cards and stuff. So it's like waterproof. So you're not, although if you're working with watercolor and you have a little spillage, spill your coffee, it's not going to damage the coloring book. The pages, the quality of the paper is nice. It's slick. The only thing I can say about the slick paper is it won't work to do it with pastels. It'll work okay with oil pastels, maybe. But I would use markers and colored pencils and crayons. I'm big on colored pencils, though. I have all kinds of lots of colored pencils. So, yeah, I accept myself. I think that's great. She needs to take these and I love this one. Outer Space. I can do anything. It's a great coloring book. I love it. I can't wait to get started. I meant to show you this last week, and after I left, I looked over behind the curtain here, and there it was, and I had forgotten to talk about it, and I felt really bad. And then I turned and watched Sienna Rose Metaphysical and Shining Hawk Healing and Johnny last Friday, and their weird silly questions that they read on. I love to watch that because it's funny. It's funny. You want to laugh. It's really good. It's funny. And who had it? Sonia? I think Sonia was on there. Somebody had it. Maybe it was Tony. Tony had it, I think. Anyway, someone had it and was showing it and was really excited about it. And Sienna was getting all embarrassed. She gets such a sweet, humble lady. It is very cool. We have so many talented people in this community. It just blows my mind. And they're coming out more and more and more. And like, she did this in 2018. That's about the time I started watching her. Yeah. So funny. I started watching her and had no intention of ever doing this. I was like, no way I'm going back there again. So, yeah, it's I like to do Zentangle and doodles anyway. And this reminds me of back in the 1960s when I was younger, like in junior high and stuff. Felt markers were the latest thing. The fine point, we called flare markers the fine point in those days because all you other had was those great big wide ones that stunk so bad and made you high. When we used to, look for stuff like this. You could buy whole posters like this. Well, you can now too, and they have that fake black felt, and you color them with felt markers. That's what this reminded me of. So I was like, oh, I gotta have that coloring book. I have lots of coloring books. Because if I want to do something that I don't have to like super focus on, or if I'm listening to something but I want to keep my hands busy, I color. I have nervous hands. Not really. It's just I feel like they need to do something. And if they're not doing something like holding my elbows, they're talking. My dad used to tease me so bad. What are you, Italian? I'd say, no, I'm Scottish. That's how I always talked with my hands. Used to be a lot worse than I am now. Mystic Gems. I'll have to look at those because I like Sharpies. I've found the regular fine point Sharpies, like the black, those suckers dry out really, really fast. And I don't know if it's the point, because if you go inside the pen, because I've broken those pens down before to make alcohol inks, if you go inside that fine point pen, it's the fine point that's dry. The cartridge inside with where the ink is, plenty of ink. I mean, it's moist. So it like get all over your hands. I can never figure out why. And it's just the Sharpie brand. If I get Prismacolor or any of the other ultra fine points, well, like this is a 3.0, this is Prismacolor, I don't run into that problem. But I do with Sharpie brand. See how fine point that is? That's really fine. It's a 0.30. This is a double aught 5. 005. Here, I'll put my hand up here so you can see how fine that point is. So, yeah. You don't color with those. You definitely outline and stuff with, shade with. I have to look for those fine points though, because I really like metallics and glitters, and it's kind of like my collection of colored pencils. When I go to my art class and I'd be working on a colored pencil project, and I'd take all my colored pencils with me, and everybody be going, well, why are you working in watercolor or regular pencil? Because I do both. I put the watercolor down first to give it depth, and then give details in regular pencil. So yeah, but then I'd show up with my just a portion of my pastels, and they quit bugging me about my colored pencils after that, because I have a, oh God, huge, great, big, well, I guess about the size of a duffel bag on wheels. Then you pull around, and it's pockets and layers of containers full of pastels and their supplies. You don't have very many supplies, though, with pastels, because you paint with your finger mostly. You know, I was thinking the other day, as many card decks as I recommend, I probably should sign up as an Amazon affiliate. That's a pretty cool system. You don't make much. I mean, I did it once before, about 5 years ago, and I think I made 29 cents, but I only did it for a year, and I didn't recommend very much. It was for diamond paintings, and that's a real select group of people. But here, the way people go after whatever card deck you're using, I think I should think about the Amazon affiliate. Stony Baker, how are you, my friend? Yeah, because I'm even doing card reviews, so do a video specifically for that. Might be good to be an affiliate. Doesn't any extra money to the people buying. You guys pay the same. I just get a little commission. And like I said, 29 cents. I think off of a, it's not, I think it's like, it's not 10%. You don't even make 10%. What's up? I'm talking about being an Amazon affiliate, because I recommend and so many card decks to people. I can take a quarter off of every one that I recommend that they actually end up buying. You know? When I get my Oracle deck, sorry, I'm trying to put those pens away. When I get my Oracle deck done, it'll be a different story. I feel like Miss Sienna. Only I have a whole bunch of cards for you to use and buy. And so far, it's a deck of over 60 cards. I forget now how many total. I think it's 62 cards. And I'm writing the guidebook to go with it. It would be really nice if I could keep it this thin, but I don't see how I can with 62 cards. That's the guidebook for these cards. The Jody Bergsma Magical Times. Woo! Almost lost the lid, as you can tell. I've used these cards once or twice. The box is falling apart. I've used these cards and used these cards. Also, the ones that I'm using for my card of the day this week. I've used those cards so many times. I mean, they're, oh God, when did I get those? 2014 or 15? And they used to be about the only thing I used all the time to do card readings. I belong to a women's organization that with every meeting we'd have a grounding and a card reading. And the grounding was to start it, and card reading was to end it. So in the position that I was either doing the grounding or doing the card reading. So I learned how to very well to do both. Got lots of practice. And then the lady just above me had a few mental issues. And when I went to the higher ups with the threats that she was giving me, she was threatening my life. They were like, "Oh, she's just kidding." And then I was like, no, she made a comment about she had friends that raised pigs and they'd never find my body. That is not a joke, folks. And that it was a good thing that I lived in Arizona and she lived in Oregon. She wasn't kidding, folks. And the lady that ran the organization was all, "Oh, we need to, be kind, send kind and loving thoughts to her, not ostracize her." I'm going, "Lady, okay, she can threaten your life and we'll see how you send loving, kind thoughts to her." And I quit. How old is your daughter, sweetheart? I know how the little fussy babies go. The little fussies. I have a very dear friend that lives about 2 hours drive from me. It has a 2-year-old. 2-year-old going on 35. Oh my God, that kid. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, she's been speaking in full sentences for like 9 months, and I'm talking full sentences like you and I use. She was calling for her dad the other day. "Daddy, come here. I want you." Just as crystal, none of this, "Come here. Daddy, come here. I want you." Nope. "Daddy, come here. I want you." Just as crystal clear. A year old. You having fun with her. How neat. Babies are so cool. I love them. I love little kids. They're our future. I always look at everybody's kids as mine. And I'd take them in as mine, too, in a heartbeat if I could. Problem is, at my age, by the time they're 20, I'd be 84. I had older parents. I wouldn't do that to a kid. My mom was 37 when I was born. So my dad was 35. So they were never really all that interested in the high school sports they'd go to the music stuff because I was involved in that, but I wasn't an athlete. So they didn't give a shit about what happened in high school sports, which kind of made it fun for me because I could go to the games and stuff like that, and party and get in all kinds of almost trouble because my mom and dad were never there. Only problem is their friends were. And I would get in trouble with their friends' kids. Oh, God. Going up we'd go take a half a case of beer and some Mad Dog, didn't matter what flavor, and go hide it up in the snow. And then during halftime and basketball games and stuff, we'd go up there and drink and then come back for the second half of the game and be so intoxicated you can't hardly walk up and down the bleachers and stuff. And then try to maintain when you got home and not show that you can't hardly walk. And my mom would be like, so her lips would like disappear. And my dad would be like, "Well, did you have fun?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And he'd be like, "Good. Because you're not going to feel good tomorrow. And nobody's going to give you any sympathy. Go to bed." And then my dad's way to train you to not do that kind of stuff was the most disgusting dishes that needed to be washed or whatever that, or clean the toilets, or what. That's the job he'd give you, to make sure you got sick to your stomach. That's how my dad kept my brother and I both from, just going off our rocker, drinking and partying. Deal is, my brother graduated from high school, went to college, joined a fraternity, and majored in Scotch. Never got a degree. And he had an eidetic memory, photographic memory. And he flunked out of college. That you intentionally pretty much have to do. So when I went to college, I don't have that kind of memory. When I went to college, I got, don't do like your brother did, all the time. So yeah, I became an overachiever, got 3 degrees. My brother didn't get 1, but I got 3. And my brother ended up making more money an hour than me. It's okay. I don't do physical labor. He had his own irrigation company in California, like for racehorse ranches, mansions, golf courses, big contracts, not just put in your irrigation system in a house. You do the whole development. But that's because he could learn things so quickly. And that was something he could pretty much do easy till he had to really do a lot of digging. Landscapers and guys that do that, that's especially here, because we have this clay stuff that mixes in with the sandstone in our soil. That is, God, it's like concrete. Seriously, they use a jackhammer to get through the stuff, and it's a natural phenomenon. It's called caliche. Literally makes it, we don't have basements in our houses unless you live on a hill because of caliche. It's, you got to get a backhoe or whatever to dig it. There's no hand digging a cellar or something like that, because it would take you have to literally, head edges. You have to literally soak the ground first. So yeah, Stony people are going, yeah, I want to grow wheat in Arizona. You have to literally grow in a raised bed because the soil sucks. Now, up in the mountains, it's not so bad because you have all that leaf fodder and, that falls off the trees in the wintertime and, deteriorates and feeds those microbes. So that soil in the mountains is green and lush and rich. But down here in the valleys, it's desert, man. It's not sand dunes, but it's not rich, loamy soil either. And it's hard to grow in. So I grow in pots on top of the soil. We have a fungus here also in our soil that will, it eats the roots, the fine little roots on trees, plants, everything. Texas root rot. And you'll have a tree, it looks great, big tree, it'll be so happy and beautiful one day. Next day it looks the same, but you touch the leaves and they crumble, they're dry, but they're green. The tree is dead because that root rot ate all the roots and the tree's just barely hanging on. I think the only trees here that don't get that are the ones that are natural in the desert, the mesquite, the palo verde, and I don't think the eucalyptus trees that grow here have that problem. Because eucalyptus, do you know eucalyptus is a natural insecticide? But it's also a natural fungicide. So if you're wanting to grow organically, to have those natural microbes in the soil, you can't use eucalyptus as your mulch or anything on the top, because every time you water it, it is going to filter down into the soil. It's an insecticide. It's a natural insect. So, yeah. Eucalyptus is fascinating. You know why they burn so bad? Eucalyptus is loaded with oil. The leaves, the bark, the actual wood itself has so much water in it that as it dries, it cracks like little pie pieces. So you can't like take a slice of a stump or something, because the wood is really pretty. It's red in the center and stuff. But you take a slice of that and then you dry it, and then say you want to put liquid glass or resin on it to make a table. You can't, because as it dries, pieces of it fall off, because pie pieces, pie chunks, it splits radiating from the center out. So pie pieces, it'll just literally falls apart. And it's sad. So you have to use the, yeah, I've tried eucalyptus bath salt. I used to make my own from my tree. Actually, I used to put my tree in my vaporizer too. I go out there and pull a bunch of leaves off the tree and stick it in my hot steam vaporizer in the wintertime when I'd get colds and stuff. You know what my favorite bath salts are? Any kind of bath salt with CBD. You want a really quick way to get rid of pain? That's the fastest way I know. Naturally. You get a bath salt with CBD in it, and that's cannabis CBD, not hemp CBD. Huge difference. Hemp CBD, hell, you might as well smoke a rope, because that's what you're doing. Eat a rope, rubber, it's not as concentrated in CBD as cannabis CBD. But anyway, you get bath salts. There's a company in Bend, Oregon, but they can't, because of laws. If it was legally, federally, we wouldn't have the problem. But they can't send it out to you. They'll send you the one with the hemp CBD, but not the cannabis one. I bought some when I was there, and it helped me so much. I couldn't believe it. You put it, hi Harley, you put it in the hot water with, this is something you might think about, Harley, as a product, CBD bath salts. You put it in the hot water. The heat of the water helps the pain. Plus, when the CBD is in that hot water, it also will soak into your body quicker. So that's going to help the pain. And this stuff was amazing. And they just, put, it had CBD, and I think it had rosemary, essential oils in with it. And, Epsom salt. Good stuff. It smelled really good. And I would sleep like a rock when I had that stuff. So, but the only way I can get it is to go to Bend, Oregon and buy it, because they won't send it to me here. But just let you know, sir, that might be something you might think of. Because I know fibromyalgia patients, we all have this thing about heat. We love it. And I don't mean outside breathe it heat, but I mean to help relieve pain. I have a collection of heating pads. I have small ones for my hands. I have really big long body length one. This isn't a heating pad, but it absorbs my body heat in my hands to help hand pain for arthritis. I just had that on. I've been having to wear that for weeks now because of this. I broke my hand right here, and all the card shuffling I've been doing lately really sets the arthritis off that's in that knuckle right there. You can see it's bigger. Don't get old. So my mom used to tell me all the time. I'm like, I've been doing that ever since you spewed me, Mom. And she'd laugh. Spewed me? Yeah, like a watermelon. You spewed me out of your loins. She'd laugh. My mama who only had an 8th grade education. And my dad used to really discount her because of that, because he had a high school graduate. He had a high school diploma. So in his way of thinking, make sure Katie gets educated. But if she goes for more than a high school diploma, then what do you do? So he really pushed for me to go to college. And he pushed me to go to college in the medical field because it was something he wouldn't be able to compare me. See? And I did that for 1 year. Not my cup of tea. Hi, Heather. Good to see you. Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea. So when I got into, and this is so funny because I really understand botany and how the microbes and esters and all that stuff works to help your plants grow. Hey, Mama Bear, good to see you too. Yeah, how your plants will grow because of the microbes. And then I end up having to use that greatly to grow my medicine. So interesting how that works, huh? I also took in 19, when was this? Because it was before I graduated. So it had to have been in 78 or 79. I took a hydroponics gardening class, and we focused on growing tomatoes. The funny thing is the teacher was cool. He had gone to the University of Oregon, to the library at the University of Oregon, studied and wrote down all the research he could find on the nutrients in Maui, and told us how to grow quote unquote tomatoes in Maui. Maui Wowie tomatoes. I have the textbook, and all my notes are written in all the, the sides over in that poor little book. But turns out I might need that book. Who knows? I might decide to grow my medicine hydroponically. I have to get out of Arizona, though. Water's so fucking expensive. And when you're growing in all water and no dirt, I don't know. You're going to lose evaporation anyway, so and guess what, Harley? I do have a gecko that lives in there, and he usually eats like the little flying bugs. I think he munched on the plant, on our tester plant, because bottom leaves, yesterday I was low stress training, right? Bottom leaves are gone this morning. Are gone this morning. I didn't have a mouse. So I'm thinking it's the gecko. Because I haven't had very many. It hasn't been warm enough. Believe me. We probably after today will have, because I saw a lacewing, or also known as mosquito hawks. They live off of mosquitoes, and if they're out, then that means mosquitoes are too. So that means fruit flies. And root gnats. So it's pest season. And it's hard on me because I leave my windows open. I mean, why pay for air conditioning if you can cool your house off with, like, today is supposed to be a high of 85. I said that, 85. It's fun living in Arizona in the wintertime. Actually, 9 months out of the year, Arizona's perfect weather. Just perfect. It's those, well, 8 months of the year. It's those other 4. I mean, even our winters they're a little cold. For us who live here, we freeze our asses off. We complain about it. But that's like, when it snows in Memphis, they're going to complain. You live in the South. I know what real cold is. I used to live in Oregon, so I'm glad you got spring weather up there too. I know I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in the suburbs of Chicago, and he was saying that it was a nice day, supposed to be something like 68, 65, 68 in the Chicago area today. So that's great, Yesterday, it was actually at the point where I almost turned on a fan inside my house. So, yeah, it's warm here, which is awesome because my flowers are blooming. I have snapdragons, nasturtiums, pansies, sweet alyssum. Those are the ones that are blooming right now. I've got more nasturtiums coming up. I have yellow nasturtiums and orange ones. I don't know what the others are because it's a mix of seeds. So when you plant them, you get whatever. Hi, Roll Keeper. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, so I have this giant pot that is big enough for me to sit down in. I mean, literally, if I sit down in it, it hits me here. And I usually it used to have a blood orange tree in it. They don't do so well here. It gets too hot, believe it or not. Valencia oranges, navel oranges, Lisbon lemons. Anyway, other citrus, yes. Blood oranges, no. Blood oranges are very, very, very picky in their climate that they have to grow in. My snapdragons are the big kind too. They're the kind that you get in. I love hollyhocks, and hollyhocks grow like crazy here. I mean, triples, doubles, they get really tall, and then they grow like weeds here. Hollyhocks do, which is kind of interesting because it's not a natural plant here in Arizona. So yeah, but my snapdragons are the kind that have the really big stem. So the flowers are huge. They're the kind you put in inner flower arrangements. And that plant has been growing in that pot. This is the third winter for it. See, we don't have, I can't, the reason I have pansies right now, they're almost done. They're almost finished. That's a winter flower here. It's too hot for pansies in the summer. So what I've got coming up now, I've got marigolds and petunias and sweet williams coming up. They will just grow and climb and go nuts. So between the nasturtiums and the petunias, I'll have red and yellow and orange and pink and purple. And then my sweet alyssum are dark purple, but the new ones at the top, as they open, they're white. And as they get older, they turn dark purple. And they smell so sweet. Some mornings when I open the window in the summertime before it's daylight and it's still dark, flowers, that's when flowers send their pollen and stuff out, is at nighttime. So, because there's not many predators at night. The bugs aren't as active at night either, except harvester ants. So you will notice certain flowers like citrus flowers, most tree flowers actually will all be very, very strong in fragrance at night. They're sending their pollen out. So that sweet alyssum, I have it in 3 pots underneath my bird feeder or my bird bath. So it just gets watered when I spray out and clean the bird bath, which is every day. So you can imagine I have sweet alyssum stalks that are like this tall. Everybody's used to having these little things that, grow along your flower beds in the front because they're so low. It's my spot I have right back here. It's shaded most of the day. So it's just my little secret garden. It's my magic garden. I don't, I have a glider rocker that I sit in. That's why I ground myself. I was telling my friend Rachel, who's up north where it snows, when I need to be grounded when I'm, I'm spending a lot of time doing it right now because Friday's a full moon. So when the moon goes into full moon or new moon, Katie has to ground herself. There's a reason why I picked Moonchild. The moon, I am not a Cancer. I have Gemini in my astrology, but I don't have any of the water signs in my astrology. So it's really interesting that I am so affected by the moon. But man, I mean, it used to even affect my thought patterns, my luck, which I don't believe in anymore, but I thought it did. And it's amazing how when you think it, it's your reality. So that's why they try so hard in politics and stuff to get you to tell you stuff over the sound bites over and over and over again, because if they can get that sound bite to become a thought, then it becomes a truth. No. Some of us have this thing right here called your third eye. And you're like me, it's wide open and wide awake, and I see right through that shit. Right through that stuff. So, yeah. I used to tell friends, don't lie to me, please. Because I'll know. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to see so many people here. Anybody want me to pull some cards, to read some cards? I was saying in the very beginning, I have decided that this mini card reading, I can pull one card, but that's so general. Doesn't really tell us much or tell you much. So ask me a specific question. Let's look for some solutions and see what we can find. When it's a general question, I get to kind of try to figure out, well, is this a job situation, a home situation, a personal? You please? What do you want to know, miss? Got a specific question? Or you just want me to pull a card? Miss Heather? Because I will pull 1 card or 3 cards. What would you like? But I need a question to ask. And I got a bunch of decks out here to use. So I was watching Shining Hawk, Healing, and Tarot's Apprentice yesterday. Oh, that was fun because they were going through their decks, their favorite decks, and why, and laughing and giggling. It was good. It was a lot of fun, and I thought, oh, that looks like a fun thing to do. But oh my God, I got so many decks, and then I'm going, Tarot's Apprentice, girlfriend. He has 250 decks. He said yesterday he's found a deck he's got to have, so he ordered it. So now he's screwed because that makes him have an odd number of decks, and he can't stand that. That goes against him. So now he's going to have to go to 260. Message from Spirit about my spiritual journey. 3 cards. Okay. Heather's spiritual journey. Heather's spiritual journey. These are fun cards. Wow. First of all, you get the creation card. I'm using this, by the way, is the Jody Bergsma Magical Times Empowerment deck. This is a creation card. It says, remember your thoughts shape your future. Your words create today, and your choices become your reality. Be careful. Think your choices through today. That kind of goes with my card of the day today, which is enlightenment. In everything you do today and everything you're doing in your spiritual journey, don't make a quick decision. Don't jump to a decision. Think it all through very carefully. And stop long enough to ask what Spirit wants you to do in this journey. The next card that I'm getting for you, which this is where you're coming from, creation. This is where you are. You are manifesting. As we all are, especially with this full moon on Friday. Oh my God. Right now, super important. No matter whether you agree, disagree, whatever, keep your energy high, your thoughts joyous, and your vibrations high. If that means being silly and dancing and, doing whatever you can to laugh, acting like a child, whatever, keep that high. When you're manifesting now and your vibes are high, you have to live like you have what you want. You can't keep telling yourself, help me, please. I want. You say that once. The universe only needs to hear that once. You become redundant when you repeat it over and over and over again. You produce more lack of what you're wanting. When you repeat it over and over again, you're telling the universe, I'm lacking this, I'm lacking this. And the universe says, oh, she wants more. I don't want more lack. So you have to be in gratitude and thankfulness for even those things that you're scared of and you're wanting help with. Card says your dreams have untold energy. Open the door and let them live. Desire and belief are your power. Don't hold yourself back. We all do. We're our biggest enemy. We limit ourselves. But right now, for you in your journey, Heather, you need to take off on what is you, what is in your heart, and what you're hearing from Spirit and your guides that they want you to do with your channel, with your life, and with your future. If you listen to Spirit and I was listening to Abraham Hicks earlier today. stay in that high plane, live in that high plane, that whatever you want. Oh, goody, here it is. Thank you. Hey, girlfriend. Oh, thanks. Good to see you, Tony. If you do that, Heather, it's there. It's there. Brings you to the third card, which is prosperity. You will have your dreams. Focus on the positive, and more good will come. Give thanks for blessings, and they will multiply. Prosperity begins in the mind. Thanks for the comment on that. I love it. I have a 21-year-old. I'm 60. We aren't talking. It makes me very sad, but letting him go to grow needed done. Yeah, God, that's so hard. I miss him terribly, but visualize when we reconcile and that feeling. But is that right? You know what? My guides are telling me, I mean, I can pull cards for you if you'd like, but my guides are telling me, yeah, you're right. I'm doing what you're doing, honey. You're letting him walk his path. He's an adult now. And as much as it is hard to see people that you love make mistakes, they don't grow if they don't. Number one. And number two, he has a purpose that's separate from yours. So he can't find that purpose if you don't let him. And he has to make those mistakes. I think of the scene in Thelma and Louise where they drive off the cliff. And Brad Pitt's standing there watching him going, that's kind of what you have to do. With friends, people that you love, when they head down a path that you can see from your experiences is one that is wrought with big pitfalls and maybe even dangers, you're going to want to grab that freaking steering wheel and don't let him go off that cliff. And you can't. You have to stand back and watch them make their mistakes and lovingly be there to help them put it all back together. That's your reconcile. No, you're welcome. It is terribly hard to watch. It rips your fucking heart out. Yes, allowing. We try to control so much in our lives that is completely out of our grasp. Because first of all, we're being taught lessons constantly. How do you control what you learn and what you need to learn when you don't know yet what you don't know until you learn? See what I'm saying? You've got to just, at some point, that's when the child has to become the friend and not your baby. Although I know that they'll always be your baby, you know? When they become an adult, you got to let them make their own mistakes. Just like you did. Because if you don't let them, you'll drive them away because they're going to do it anyway. So you might as well be there to be the strong one for them to come to when shit gets hard. Because it's going to get hard. As you know, as much as we want to protect the people we love from that, we can't. And we're not being fair to them by trying. So that's what you have to keep in your mind is letting people walk their own path, letting people have their journey. When you love them and you can see their choices, it's very hard. It's harder than very hard. It literally rips your heart out. But in the long run, it works for the best for everyone. Yeah. Just love. Just in God, I think I was probably 12 or 13. They used to have these things that you buy, I love you this much or whatever that you'd buy for Mother's Day or Father's Day or whatever. And I'm thinking about that. I always think about that when I'm giving this talk about how you have to let people walk their journey. That was a really hard lesson for me because I could see people for their potential and not their true colors. So I was constantly trying to help people become the potential that I could see in them that they couldn't see. Yeah, it is effing hard. Okay, computer. There. Tell me a slow battery is plugged in. Connection was loose. Yeah, it is really hard. Yeah, and sometimes if you can't watch them make their mistakes, you kind of got to turn away because they've got to make their own mistakes. If you don't let them do it, they will do it behind your back anyway, and they won't feel that they can come to you when they need you. So, God, it's really hard to love with your arms open, but you got to. Because when your arms are open, people come to you with their arms open. There you go. When your arms are open, your heart is too. Fastest way to open your heart when you're dancing and keeping your vibes high. Hey, yeah. Open your heart. Open your arms. Show with your energy your joy. Because joy and happiness, believe it or not, is a choice. I can wake up in a nasty ass mood. Like, oh God, I just want to cover my head. And then I'll find some video or something somewhere that'll make me laugh. And then I'll be going, you really did choose to be grumpy today. Why? It takes so much more energy to be a grump than it does to just be silly and laugh. It is the hardest form of love. Allowing others to make their own mistakes is the hardest form of love. I so agree, Tony. Shining Hawk Healing. Yeah. Hey, I loved you and Johnny yesterday and your cards. I laughed my butt off, you guys. It was so good. It was funny. Oh, yeah. I had to learn that the hard way too about allowing others to make their own mistakes. I have a cousin. She's my second cousin, so she's the third generation on this side of my family that has fibromyalgia. And she was all caught up in the victimhood of her illness, which makes your illness worse, makes the pain more intense, and it keeps you all worked up and tight. And when you're all worked up and tight, that creates more pain. So I would tell her meditations, all these kind of things to help her. And she would do none of it. And it used to make me so angry that she came to me for help because I had been living with it for so long. And then when I would give her the advice she'd ask for, she'd ignore it. I got to the point where I was like, okay, baby, what you coming to me for? You're asking for me to help you. So I tell you what I do that helps me. And you won't do any of it because you'd rather whine and complain because then your husband and your kids will pick up the slack. And that was the shit she was pulling. Yeah. Very negative household. I ended up having to walk away because it was affecting me and my pain level. And I can't have that. That is the hardest thing I do from the moment I get up in the morning to the moment I get up the next morning is control my pain. So, I've been really proud of myself too, because I've been going at this since the 23rd of July. And I took some time off, I think right around Thanksgiving, because I was exhausted. Yeah. Shortly after the election, I was exhausted. So I took a couple days off, but I have not. Since I've been doing live streams, I've been here every week. So, which I'm really proud of that, because used to be when I was doing live streams before, when I had my other channels, I would exhaust me so bad I'd be in bed right after. And now I'm like, who's on? I want to go be with somebody. Who's on live? Let's go. I want to have some fun. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Heather. I've had to be, honey. When you come to the realization that nobody else gonna pull you up but you get real strong. Or you don't pull yourself up. And that's not an option. I'm a constant improvement, constant working on being better. So, yeah, no, giving up is never an option. Figuring out another way to do it that might be a little easier, absolutely rutely. And it took me 20 years to figure that out. And on the days when I don't feel good, or I'm sore, or I'm tired, I rest. And I don't feel guilty about it. You make your to-do list. The majority of those things on that to-do list have a deadline that you create. No one else. Change it if it doesn't work. Sometimes what you have planned to do on that day, the timing isn't right. So it's not, you're going to run into obstacles. Let it go. What I do is, if I've got a task I'm trying to do and I keep running into obstacles, I'll move on to another task rather than beat my head against something that's not meant to happen yet. When you learn to completely give it to the universe, it's so much better. It really is. Honey, I understand that. My family disowned me. All of them. 6 years ago. That's when I had to learn that you don't need anybody. You can do this. You don't need anybody to rescue you. You can do this. You can manifest everything that you need, because the universe has got your back. Because I'm doing with my life what the universe tells me to do. I love you too, Tony. Thank you so much, sweetie. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. I know how busy you are. My gosh, you do personal readings and all that too. My sweet friend, my shaman, I love you. It's so good to see you. Yeah. My mother passed away at 97 in 2018. Her memorial was the last time I spoke to my brother. I have no idea if he survived COVID or not. He's 82. He was born in 1940. I have 15 cousins that live right here in Tucson, Arizona. I saw one because he was basically stalking me with my neighbors, trying to nosy around to see if I was still alive or not, because he wanted my house. Wanted to try to go from, if they were going to auction off my house, he was going to come get it. I hadn't seen him in 7 years. He lives right here in Tucson. The whole reason this all happened is because I'm a progressive, a liberal, and I believe in more than the box of fundamental Southern Baptists. I believe in way more than that box that they all live in. I don't fit in that box. So every time I bust out of that box, they didn't like it. So when they saw their opportunity, mom's gone. My dad was long gone. My dad died in 2004. They didn't have, there's no more aunts and uncles for them to have to worry about. So they tried to screw me over. But it didn't work. My father was a smart man. And when I got my disability for fibromyalgia, he knew I was never going to work. So he protected the house. He protected everything so it could not be taken away from me. So, and that pissed my brother off. So he had no reason to talk to me anymore. He couldn't inherit anything. So yeah, I got it all because I'm disabled. I told you what my brother did for a living. He had a lot of money. What did he need for inheritance? Plus my dad loaned him the money to start his business. And he never paid my dad a penny back. So my dad figured, okay, you got your inheritance. So I started your business for you. I think that's completely, totally fair, don't you? So my dad never did that. Never gave me money to start a business. So yeah, when they have both passed away, I got the house. That's it. That's all he had. There wasn't any money. There's no car. My brother's all acting like my dad was like independent because he'd buy all these cars and fix them up and stuff. Yeah, he did that too. So he and mom could go out and eat and go camping. And I mean, that was his mad money to spend and blow, not to save so that my brother could inherit it. And I told my parents years ago, you leave me any money, this is your money. You worked hard for it, not me. You enjoy it. You leave me any cash, I'll donate it to the church that you don't like. So mom and dad spent it. So there's 2 churches that I donate the money to that would have made my dad's skin crawl if I did it. So, my mom and dad didn't fit in that box either. So it's not unusual that I don't. The thing I can't figure out is my brother doesn't fit in that box, but they accepted him with open arms. And he's my half brother. There's no blood relation between him and these cousins. Weird. But he's super conservative and I'm not. What started the whole thing was Benghazi. I got in an argument with a cousin over Benghazi and whether Obama was Islamic or not, whether he was Muslim or not, as if that makes any difference. Yeah. I guess that was the step too far. So when the cousin showed up at Thanksgiving time after 7 years wanting to know whether, asking my neighbor if did I leave my house? Was she still living there? He's like, yeah, she walks all over the place. She chooses not to have a car, which is totally beyond me. I'm like, I don't need the expense. You know, it cost me $1.75. I can ride the bus all day long. It cost me $5 a gallon for gas. Makes no sense to have a car right now. And it's not like I go anywhere. You know, once a month I have to go out. Maybe. It's not worth it. The wear and tear on the car just sitting and drying out is harder than, yeah. So it doesn't make sense for me to have a car. But he had to know all that kind of stuff. It's like, what the hell? So I told my neighbor, any of my family shows up and asks you any questions about me, you tell them you don't know. You don't know. It's just safer. I would never get mad at my neighbors for talking to my family. But it's just easier for him because I don't know what my family would do. They might go after him for something he said about me. So, yeah. Anyway, anybody else need some cards? Anybody else want some cards? Yeah. I need to go get a haircut or do something to my hair. You know what I've been thinking about doing? Have all the stuff to do it here at home, too. Is about from here down, which you can see it's pretty long. It goes down in my bra, below my bra strap and the back. And dyeing that all bright midnight blue. Fading up the purple into my natural color on top. That'll take me hours and hours and hours to do. But it's not like I don't have the time. You want a general card, Shan? Sure. Card for Shan. How you doing, Shan? Good to see you. Even though I'm not seeing you, but I know you're there. General card. Okay. I started to use the Earth Wisdom cards, and Spirit says no. Jody Bergsma, please. Empowerment cards today. Apparently, we need some empowerment. You're watching some old Frontline and stuff like that, like from 2018. Chamomile tea, yes. I should make a cup of tea. What a great idea. Thank you. Only my tea is different. It does the same stuff, same thing as chamomile, though. My leaves that I cut off of my plants when I trim them, my marijuana plants, make an awesome green tea. Little honey, little cinnamon, and it's great for sleeping. Just relaxes you, but doesn't make you high and stupid. It's nice. And Stony, who was in your, I don't know if he's still here or not, always asks me, well, how many buds do you put in your tea? I'm like, no, dude, I just use the leaves. Just the leaves, just those green parts. Oh, Road Keeper, you are always welcome here. I'm here every Wednesday. In case you didn't know, Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time, or doesn't do the time change. So it's 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 o'clock Eastern. Yeah. It's yummy tea. You can even add a little milk too. At nighttime, I'll add a little bit of milk and have a cup of it just before I go to bed. And it's a nice, quiet, peaceful sleep. So when you have a real hectic day, it's great to just chill out with. But you can't buy it anywhere that I know of. You can buy the beverages though. I mean, if you live where it's legal. Here it's legal. I think they have marijuana infused beer here. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but and I love beer. On a hot day, nothing better than an ice cold beer. Especially after you've been outside. I used to keep beer steins in my freezer, and no other beverage was ever served in those glass beer mugs. I kept them in the freezer strictly for beer. Did you know that if you drink milk in a glass, you never want to use it for drinking beer? Ooh, mulled wine. Yeah. Yeah, never. Because if you like a head on your beer, it'll go flat quicker if you've used your glass to drink milk. My best friend in college, her dad, to make his beer have a head on it, used to put salt in it to make it fizz up. But then you got to drink it quicker, because when you do that, it loses its carbonation. Yeah. Anyway, Shan needs a general card. Card for Shan. Ooh, even looks like you, dude. Get the confidence card. Look at that. White hair, beard, even though it is an eagle, man. You got the wisdom of an eagle. Be bold. Rise up and stand tall. Feel the fire in your soul. These are good cards for you and Heather. My gosh. I think your move is the start of amazing things to come. Just when you said you were thinking about moving, that you were kind of shooting for April 1st to move, you were hoping, I'm going April Fool's Day. What a perfect day to make a major change in your life. Yeah. Actually, April Fool's is one of my favorite days of the year. I love April Fool's and May Day. And I want to know, why did they pick, with the weird holidays that we have for our Monday holidays, can we have some like natural ones like May Day? Wouldn't it be nice to have April 1st or May 1st be a national holiday? Make April Fool's Day a holiday. Hello, I'm coming into work on my holiday. April Fools. Oh, I'm terrible. I was the kid that, pulled the dirty. I used to be quite a prankster as a kid. I used to love April Fool's Day. And I don't know. The inspiration, I guess I haven't had anybody in my life, and as an adult, that I could frustrate them much. Oh gosh. Can you guys hear that? My neighbor's home. My neighbor across the street. Boom, 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 boom. It's kind of interesting. He had this guy come first week of shutdown, back in March of 2020. He had this guy come put, stereo and all this expensive equipment in his car at his house. And they had this great, big, tall, purple planter, ceramic planter. It probably was at least a $50 planter. Funny. But when that guy got his stereo was all done, that pot disappeared. Been out front of these people's house for years. Nobody ever touched it. Nobody ever bothered it. Just thought that was a kind of an interesting coincidence. Yeah, fucking dumb cars. Yeah, and he'll sit out there in his driveway until the song is over. That's what he just did, because he just now turned it off. The booms just stopped. And if it's not him, it's my neighbors over here have 3 Chihuahuas and 2 American Bulldogs. And the American Bulldogs have to have some kind of a hound in them, because they don't just bark, they howl. High-pitched howls. And their dog run is right outside my bedroom, right here. So needless to say, when they bark in the middle of the night, they're not my favorite. The other night, they barked until 4 o'clock in the morning. I will call the police next time. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely uncalled for. Especially when their run is right outside the people's bedroom windows. Yeah, husband and wife, they have their own separate bedrooms. Because he snores and she can't stand it. She's a lovely human. Actually, feel really sorry for her. For someone to be that miserable with their life is really sad. But that's okay. She's actually has those. I have 2 dead trees here that she's afraid is going to fall on her house. Both trees lean towards my house and away from her house. The city is helping me remove them because I can't afford to have it done. However, because of COVID, everything is taking forever to do. Well, she hates me over this. She got these 2 American Bulldogs, and she literally has them trained to alert her when I go outside. They intentionally go apeshit nuts when I go out in my own backyard. What are those dogs going to do if they ever get out and I'm in my backyard? I'm actually scared of those dogs because she's got them where they alert when I personally come out. I go outside and they start barking, and I've heard her tell them, "Good alert, good boy, keep it up." She's training her dog to attack me, and she doesn't realize it because she's a cat person. She can handle the little dogs, but she's never had big dogs. And so now I'm at the point now where I have to take my phone outside with me in case I need to call 911 or I need to record her telling her dogs, "Good dog," for barking at me, for alerting her when I come outside, like I'm their enemy. That is scary as hell. And you watch them walk, these 2 dogs. She weighs over 300 pounds, so she can control them. He doesn't. He's pretty close to it, though. He's like 6'5". He's a great big guy, great big Scottish guy. And dogs decided they were going to go after a rabbit the other day in front of my neighbor over here, his house, opposite side of me. And he tried to stop those dogs, and the dogs pulled him to the ground. Wanting to go after that rabbit. And he doesn't know she's been doing this because she does it when he's not around. Yeah. Well, when I went to court over the trees, I talked to the judge about it. She informed me I have all the grounds for a lawsuit for harassment, defamation of character, and if the dogs attack me, for training your dog to be a weapon. If she pushes me, that's a lot worse than having 2 dead trees. If she pushes me, like, try to sue me. You know, anytime someone sues you, you can countersue. And that's a road she doesn't want to go down. When a judge tells you you have grounds to sue, and on the 3 things that you have the grounds to sue on, you listen. I'm not a revenge-oriented person. But I'm starting to feel unsafe. And, yeah. I hear her say that again. I will be calling the cops. I will definitely be calling Pima Animal Control because that's where she gets her pets. That's where she adopts them all from. And they need to know that this is the kind of pet owner she is. And they need to not be allowing her to adopt from them anymore. Oh, I will. I am. Hey, I even bought a dog whistle, you know, the silent kind. So that if I'm out there, they don't act like they're wanting to come over the fence or anything. So my fence is only 5 feet, 4 feet, 4 foot, 5 foot high. They can clear that fence, no problem. They're big dogs, American bulldogs. You know, it's the tall pit bull. Oh, thank you, Heather. I have lots of friends that are watching, and my other neighbors in the neighborhood, they're like, Katie, you're like a ghost. How could she be upset with you? You don't have parties. You don't make noise. I mean, people for a long time until COVID hit, they weren't really sure if anybody lived in this house. Because I'm quiet. I'm not an obnoxious person. So, yeah, I've got all my neighbors. She's been talking to them. She tells them my financial shit, which is really interesting because she's so far off. I know what she's telling people because they tell me. Did you know I am so financially independent that I can write a check to have a $6,000. Yeah, one tree, I was quoted $6,000 to have it removed. I can write a personal check for that because I don't have a house payment or a car payment. So I should have plenty of money. And what do I do for a living? Social Security disability? Yeah. You get independently rich on that shit, don't you? You know, certain Republicans back in, like Mitt Romney, had it where people were believing that all you had to do to get disability was sign a check. Took me 3 years and a fucking attorney to get approved for that shit. Yeah. And that was 20 years ago. So it ain't easy, let me tell you. Huh, Heather? Even when you have a doctor that, especially if you have an invisible illness like fibromyalgia, that you don't have an MRI or an X-ray or blood tests or something to say, here's what she has, she can't work anymore. Where if you have a bad back or that kind of a visible disability, totally different story. It's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. MS is kind of, at first, MS is very invisible. However, you have an MRI that shows a lesion in your brain. You don't have any of that stuff with fibromyalgia. None of that. You have IBS. You have all these clusters of stuff. But there's nothing. Well, you know, Shan, I got denied twice. On the third try, Social Security actually has rules and laws to help you with the attorney. Get a Social Security disability attorney, not an injury lawyer. They cannot charge you more than a certain amount. I think it's like 2% of any back pay that you get. They are limited to the amount of money they can make off you. So, and if you don't know that and you go to an injury lawyer is going to charge you out the ass for every copy, every time they make a phone call, every sneeze. You can make the copies. You can get your medical records and make copies. You don't have to have an attorney's office do that. My attorney was so cool because his office would tell me, well, we're going to need medical records, but I only need this and this, this, this. Oh, you're going to the doctor. Always make sure when you go to the doctor to get a copy of your visit. And it all went together. My attorney also was a quadriplegic, and all he did was Social Security disability cases. So the Social Security administrative law judge that I went before, their first name basis. How you doing today, Phil? Oh, I'm good, Your Honor. And when I testified, the judge he just asked me 3 simple questions. What has this done to change your life? I can't sleep. I'm in constant pain. At that time, I had to walk with a cane, and I couldn't barely stand to keep clothes on because I hurt so bad. And he says, how has this affected your relationships? I went, what relationships? They're gone. They all got tired of me canceling on them at the last minute because I never know when I'd get a flare. And he said, and I see here your doctor say that it's not going away. No, it's fibromyalgia. It ain't going away. So not only did he make me disabled, he made me severely disabled. So that I only have to do a review like every 5-7 years. Most people do it every 3. Plus, they're not as strict. They really watch how often you go to the doctor and the medications that you take and how the doctor says you should take it. And are you getting it filled properly? And because that tells whether you're taking it like the doctor said. They watch that stuff. At least they did before COVID. Now they don't have enough employees to watch it, but they will. They're hiring them all again. IRS is hiring because they need people to do just research and follow up. Because the experienced people need to go after these oligarchs and people. Lots of money been flowing out of this country that shouldn't have been. Shan needs a card. Oh, Shan got a card. But yeah, that was a good card. Both you guys got good cards. You're got good shit happening. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you, Heather, your channel, make some videos, and you can record them from your tablet, just like you do your live streams. And then, oh, you're welcome, Shan. I'll give you a little hint. If you want YouTube to suggest your channel in the feed, you need to have a minimum of 35 videos uploaded on your channel and waiting for people to binge watch. They just started last Saturday. My Saturday Solutions last Saturday was number 30 something. Between that, my live streams, my card reviews, and my groundings, I finally have enough that I signed in under one of my other email addresses, because I have my Night Blooms Design is my cover company that I do everything under. So when I sign in under Night Blooms Design, in my news feed was Saturday Solutions from last week. I was like, oh my God, they actually suggested a video. One of my videos got in the feed. So that made my day. So, yeah. And I know everybody goes, oh, but I don't want to learn how to edit. Well, you don't have to learn how to edit it first. People don't expect you to be an expert when you're starting a channel. You're not a TV producer and you know what I'm saying? And in the App Store is loaded with all kinds of apps to do your video, to do your editing in. Pick one that's easy that you play around with them. Make some practice videos and cut them up and play around and see which program you like the best. Because there's several. InShot, Power Director, a bunch of them that are really good. And they're free. If you want to get the paid version, of course you get more, like music and most of them even include Pixabay or one of those stock video companies. So if you want to put in, like I'll put in at the end of Saturday Solutions so that I can put the cards in and still get my little animation thing at the end. I'll put in a stock video that's just kind of brings you to the end after the card reading. But you don't want to use too many of those because that can keep you from getting monetized. Yeah, this YouTube game is hard. It's hard. So I try to use as many of my own videos as I can. Like if I just have something in my water fountain going, it's not a fancy water fountain. It'll be better when the lotuses start blooming in there. I have mini lotuses in there. I have no idea what colors they are because this is the first year that lotus needs to be 3 years old before it'll send up a flower. So this is the third year. This is the year they're supposed to bloom. So it can be overwhelming. Let me tell you. There again, it's all depends on your thoughts in your mind. YouTube can rule your life if you let it. And don't let it. It's not worth it. You won't make it. You won't make enough money off of it to let it rule your life. And believe me, in this community, everybody understands when you need to take a break. So, yeah, time to bloom. And when I come up with a new idea it doesn't usually come from me. So, a new direction or a topic to talk about, or I'll start as soon as I end this live stream. I'll start thinking about what I'm doing next week for this. So that's the thing about live streams. You can either make them be very impromptu, but if you have a set time every week, it's helpful to be more focused. I know I'm really scatterbrained in mine. But this one is kind of a, you want a card, you want to talk, whatever, kind of a live stream. I do have every other Thursday. I haven't decided which Thursday I'm starting yet, but every other Thursday I'm going to have a, the serious conversation, collaboration kind of talk. It's just a matter of getting people lined up that can come on Thursdays. I'm really flexible, though. I'm willing to go whenever they have the time. It's just that the more consistent you can be, the better the algorithm likes it. Cool. Yeah. And after a while, Spirit's going to tell you, doesn't matter what other people are doing on their channels. Your channel's your channel. You do your thing. You do your thing. You want to work with other people. You bring them to your channel. Because they'll come. All you got to do is ask. And you're like me. You're flexible on your time. So you'll find that, just ask them. You want to be on their channel? Bring them to your channel. When you bring them to your channel, their people come too. Don't read politics. I don't. I will. I'm willing to. It's not my focus. My focus is on past going in the future when all the shit's done. I'm all living in the age of Aquarius. I'm not living in the dawning of it. I've already got past that. Because the dawning of the age of Aquarius is all the chaos. You can't have harmony, peace, and love without shedding light on the darkness. And that's what's going on right now. The darkness is getting shown. It's getting illuminated. And we're having a hard time because we had no idea it was that dark, that it was that bad. And then that makes you, if you're like me, that makes me question what I always used to think I stood for as an American, as a citizen of the world. And then I realized, slap yourself. You were very naive and you were dealing with things the best you could with the information that you had at the time. So there's your number one reason to let all that go. And as it gets illuminated, deal with it, let it go, because what's coming is a renaissance, and it's worldwide. It's not just something just for the free world. It's going to happen for everybody, because if nothing else, losing so much of our population, before COVID hit, we were having overpopulation problems and concerned about food because of overpopulation. It's amazing how the universe takes care of shit, isn't it? Balancing stuff out. Yep. Let it go and let it flow. And that is, I've heard that since the 1960s. I used to color that when I was like 12, 13 years old on a Peter Max poster I had. And yeah, I've heard that my whole life. You know, let it go, stay in the flow. Well, or go for it. Go for it was my high school motto. The official one, I can't remember what the hell that was. It was all something wordy. But yeah, yeah, like Sonia says. Yeah, I've heard that longer than Sonia's been alive, my dear. So yeah. I was about 14 when Sonia was born. And you were about that age that you were like me with Sonia. So, but I've always been the hippie girl that's always been connected to this stuff. Always behind the scenes secretly. My family never knew. My mom and dad did, but they were like me. They were like, yeah, you have a good time. Enjoy your life. Don't pay any attention to them. If you feel like dancing, dance. 1970? What about 1970? I graduated from high school in 76. So, 1970. You know, I get to thinking about all the things that we have seen in our generation, like the lunar landing and all that stuff. We've seen a lot. But I look at my mother. She was 97 years old. When she was a child, they didn't even have a refrigerator, and she lived in the Arizona desert. You were born in 1970? Okay. I was born in 1958. Yeah, I was 12, 14 in 1970. 14 in 1970. Yeah, in 1968, the summer, quote unquote, most violent summer we've had, summer, until recently, the summer of love, was the year of the Chicago Democratic Convention and all the demonstrations and shit. I remember all that. I remember watching it on the TV. I'm a year older than Shan. Yeah, I just turned 64 last month. So. Well, happy birthday, Shan. Ooh, Sunday the 13th. That's an interesting day. You know, everybody gets so, Friday the 13th. I never have had a problem with Friday the 13th. Saturday the 14th, however, I have had the weirdest stuff happen. Now, I used to have a friend that looked forward to Friday the 13th because it was always a lucky day for her. It's just a number. Yeah, it's just a number. Yeah, tell a numerologist that. It's just a number. It doesn't have anything bearing on my life. It's like we were talking, Freebird? Debbie Freebird's chat the other day. We were all talking about what our life path numbers are. I don't like mine, but it fits. I'm a path number 1, the leader. Every time I try to be a follower, something happens and I end up being the leader. Because either the chosen leader couldn't do it and I need to fill in or something. He was born on Friday the 13th. That, that's cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I was born on a Monday. I'm a Monday's child. Monday the 3rd. Nothing real exciting about that. The 3rd of February. Yeah. Wow. I can't. Man, this 2 hours went fast. An hour and 55 minutes. Yeah, you'll find as you're going out, especially as you're moving and stuff, we're going to want to see your place, and you can make videos of all of that. Everybody will watch them. And you'll find that as you are making more of the videos to upload, that frees up more, in a way, it kind of frees up more of your time after you figure out how to do them for your style. Mama Bear, my daughter attract people that open up to her about serious things. That's because she's an empath. Always has happened to me. I couldn't figure it out. Why do people come to me with their problems? Why do people think I have the answers to their problems? So I thought, well, I guess I better become a psychologist or something and see how to help them. So I tried that road. Not my cup of tea. I was going to do the psychology thing. First, I was going to become a psychiatrist. That's an MD. And then my college advisor told me I wasn't assertive enough to be a doc, to make it through medical school. But my dad laughed. He was like, "Oh, you don't know her." And he said, "No, she's not aggressive enough." I didn't want to be a surgeon or a brain surgeon. Yeah, they're aggressive. They're extremely competitive. Well, you have a wonderful day. And thank you, Heather. I appreciate your coming every week. You and Mama Bear. Yes. She was talking to me about some she met, and he told, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's an empath. That's why people are coming to her. She's like a magnet. Mediums that speak with dead people, that speak with ghosts and spirits and stuff, when they don't know they're a medium, they think they're being haunted. When people are really just coming to them for help, they want to cross over and they can't. They need help. So with her, well, that's a heavy one when he's talking to her about suicidal thoughts. I'll tell you what happened to me one time. I was walking across the street from my doctor's office is a Circle K. And I have a nasty habit. I don't do it a lot, but every once in a while I get in a mood and I want to smoke a cigarillo. So I was going over to the Circle K to buy some Swisher Sweets. And there's this young man sitting on, the parking, to keep your car from hitting the sidewalk or whatever, the parking barrier, just sitting there. And I had this red t-shirt on that says, "Not today." Nope. And he was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, but do you have a quarter or some spare change?" And he was dressed very clean. He wasn't like your typical homeless looking guy. And I thought, he might need to make a phone call or get on the bus to ride home. So I told him, "Wait just a minute. Let me go in and make my purchase. I'll have change and I'll give it to you when I come back out." When I came back out, he was like, "Thank you very much." I think I had like 45, 50, 70. No, I had 75 cents. I gave him the 75 cents. And then I asked him, "Do you, partake?" And I had my vape pen in my hand. And he was like, I haven't for a really long time, but yeah. So there's a picnic table on the side of the Circle K. So we sat there. I thought, this guy needs to talk. So we sat there and talked, and I, shared my vape with him. And he told me that he had just gotten released from prison and that he didn't want to do what he did before, that he wanted those thoughts to go away, and that he felt really bad for what he had done, and that he didn't really feel like he was worthy to be sitting there and talking. So I told him, everybody deserves forgiveness, and if you can't get forgiveness from your victim or your victims or whatever you did, you have to forgive yourself first. When you find forgiveness for yourself, you'll find other people will forgive you too. And you are always worthy as long as you ask for forgiveness. And he was like, wow, man, are you on Facebook or something so I can follow you? And it was just like, you just, when someone is that desperate and they feel comfortable and the universe is telling you they need to talk, you need to listen. When you help someone like that, the reward for you, oh my God, that whole rest of the day, I felt so good because my little conversation with him and a couple of tokes off of my vape made him feel like a worthy human being again. Okay, so she's a medium. Okay, Mama Bear, can I suggest someone that you might actually, in our community, that I'm going to suggest you talk to, and that maybe you can connect her with your daughter, and that's Medium Kim. Not Kim, not in two of you, Kim. Medium Kim with the curly hair. I love it, our Kims. Both of them are wonderful. Actually, intuitive Kim would help her too. It's just that, medium Kim, that's what she does. And she can really help your daughter a lot. I don't know, just Spirit just said, ooh, she needs to get together with Medium Kim. Her videos, she's wonderful. Oh my. Her spirit is so kind and sweet and loving. She's not petty in any way. I love to watch her. And she also uses art in her meditations and medium readings. And it's what she sees in your aura and your energies. The stuff she does, yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? So yeah, just Spirit just says, she needs to talk to Medium Kim. Because Medium Kim is so gentle and kind. If your daughter is really scared of what she's seeing, she needs someone who's gentle and kind. Yeah, because that's actually a fantastic gift. Oh, wow, once you learn how to deal with it. But when you don't know what to do with it, you think you're being haunted and you're not. That's a gift, actually, I'm glad I don't have. I'll be honest with you. Dealing with the living is enough. Although I see angels, but I usually see them like in a corner out of the corner of my eye, and they're big and they're tall, and they're kind of gray. But then when I focus on them, like I'll look over and I focus on them, they glow. Like, oh, she saw me. It's kind of cool. I didn't 2 years ago. I couldn't do that. So this has been turmoil. We've been going on with Donald Trump and Putin, and all this has just kind of pulled away those orange skins. Yeah, orange skins I was thinking more like onion skin, but it's peeled all that away so that our new abilities that we've already always had, but now they're coming through. It's kind of fun. It's really exciting. Yeah. So anyway, you're so welcome, Mama Bear. I'm so glad to have you here. And you and I, oh my goodness. You remind me so much. Your Instagram posts, girlfriend, remind me so much of Facebook. When I was on Facebook, they kicked me off of Facebook, basically. Because of my posts. Hey, I was calling people out on all kinds of stuff. So. And that was during President Obama. That was before Trump. I got kicked off Facebook twice. And finally got tired of all the pat on the back for the misinformation and people yelling and screaming at me for my nice posts. All the stuff that I put on Instagram, I used to put on my Facebook page. And I got ostracized for it. See ya. Fuck that. You don't want it when I'm trying to make you have a better day? You want to have a worse day? That's not my problem. That's yours. See ya. So, yeah. Now I was very active on the Standing Rock thing. Very vocal. Extremely vocal. That was the only thing I posted about for like a year and a half, 2 years on Facebook. And I didn't care if they kicked me out 10 times. I also I'd be talking to my cousin through Messenger. You know, you can talk on the phone through Messenger. And I'd hear people listening to me in the background. She'd hear them too. And I get packages from Amazon. They would have clear packing tape over the top of the Amazon tape. And this was when Amazon was coming through the mail. They didn't deliver their own stuff all the time. So when you get real vocal against the government, they watch you. Doesn't matter who's president. You know what? Did you see? There was a flag posted, a map posted of COVID cases around the world and the countries that have it the most. United States is number 1, according to this map. So I let out my rant on masks. I am so sick of people getting pissed off at me because I choose to wear a mask. What fucking business is that of yours? For all you know, I could be a cancer patient and I'm being required to wear a mask. So I decided, you know what? I put in there, my mask is my fashion statement. I buy flashy, bright, and pretty ones so that you assholes can tell me how it's your right to not wear one. And then I can tell you how it's my right to stay away from your ass so you won't get me sick. And it's my fashion statement. Besides that, my hay fever has greatly improved. They don't have a comeback on the hay fever shit. Hey, Arlene. Absolutely. Hey, I have one. I should go get my masks and show them to you. They're hanging on my bedroom door right here. I have one that's leopard print. And it goes way up here, covers my whole face. I have another one that's a burgundy background, has real bright, flashy flowers, like Hawaiian print flowers. And my favorite one is yellow silk. with Hawaiian bright flower print. So it's like, hey, you're going to give me shit about my mask? I'm going to make sure you see I got it on my face, and then I'm going to tell you why it's staying there. Leave me the hell alone. You live in Sedona? Oh, girlfriend. Ho, ho, ho. That's my ancestral stomping grounds. My great-grandfather had a 75 square mile ranch in 1862 between Sedona and Flagstaff. I was born in Flagstaff, Arlene. I'm in Tucson. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is cool today, too, because I usually have it set so that you have to be a subscriber for 24 hours. But today I thought, I don't deal with trolls. Give me a reason to whack a troll. And I got 2 new people coming in here. So, hey, yeah, I made it just subscribe for 10 minutes. Yeah, sit in here and watch me for 10 minutes, and then you can decide if you want to comment or not. Yeah, how cool. Oh my gosh. I need to rent a car and make a trip because there's a lot of YouTubers that I know now in northern Arizona. Oh my word. I know a woman in Wickenburg. I have a friend in Glendale. These are people that have YouTube channels. Well, and then Connie Brown, Juno Jiu-Jitsu, Ron Baker. I'm trying to think, Chris CK. There's a bunch of us here in Tucson proper. I would like to see, we could all meet like in Phoenix or somewhere. Everybody, all of the Terra Love community, Arizona contingent. Don't you think that sounds like fun? I think it would be so fun to get together, meet each other, and I think it would be a blast. When I think it would be the most fun to do it would be during the gem show, because we all want to buy our crystals together. Wouldn't that be fun to go shopping as a mob? Oh my God. Let me tell you what it feels like here when the gems come in. You can feel the energy in the city change. Well, God, it's got to, because some of those are bigger than, well, some of them are the size of half a building. Some of those geodes and stuff. Yeah. One year there was an African amethyst. I don't know if it was a stalactite or a stalagmite, but it was so big and so tall, they had it cut, and it was cut in half, and it had angle iron seat, and attached to what had been cut, they used it like a door. You could sit inside there and shut it on yourself. You could be inside an amethyst stalactite. Can you imagine? This town is full of that. Those kind of things. Small. I mean, thousands and thousands of small crystals. This I got at the gem show one year. It was like $2. It was a Nautilus shell once. It's and the stuff you get, the prices are crazy. There's 25 cents on the dollar, according to what you would buy at a metaphysical store or a rock shop. Unless it's a rock shop owned by a rock hound who goes out and collects his own crystals, you're going to pay way more, because you got dealer, you got the person that found it, you got the dealer, and then you got the seller. So it's going to get marked up at least 3 times. I learned a lot about jewelry and jewelry stores and how much they rip us off by going into some of the wholesale diamond places and stuff. I have a business license, so I can get into the wholesale. Unfortunately, I can't get everybody in to buy wholesale, because then I'd have to pay taxes on it. Not willing to do that. I love you guys, but not that much. But yeah, it can't stay as expensive as it was this year. Like, and we didn't have maybe half the vendors this year as we usually have. Well, your daughter's wise. I didn't go. This year. I mean, I live right here. You can hop on the bus and run down there and spend the day down there. Depends on where part of town you're going in, though, because the gem show it takes up the whole city. Vacant parking lots have vendor tents. Hotels, motels. The hotels, motels, and resorts are booked up 3 years in advance. It is such a big deal. People don't realize when you tell them it's the biggest in the world, they don't realize that you want to find out. Go to a bar during the gem show, and it's 3 weeks long. So it doesn't matter any time during that 3 weeks. Go to a local bar that's someone kind of like TGI Fridays or, somewhat known. And you can sit down at a table, and a table behind you will have someone from Australia, someone from South Africa, someone from the Czech Republic, so on. All sitting at the same table, having a beer or whatever, having a cocktail together, maybe eating some hors d'oeuvres, having dinner. When they met, they all just, selling at the same place, met each other. Hey, we're going to go. You want to go? It's the best time. Gem show is my favorite time of year here. It is the last 2 weeks of January and the first week of February every year. Actually, the month of February is very busy because it starts with the gem show. Then it goes into, we have the professional golfers. PGA has a golf tournament here. And then we have the National Rodeo Association. And Rodeo Week is so big here, the kids get out of school for it. To go to, I don't like rodeos. I call them domestic animal torture shows, but it's a big deal here. And you either get here, because it happens at the end of February, you either get rained out or you get sunburned. It's very seldom perfect weather. It's either hot or cold for the rodeo. And that rodeo is interesting when it's cold and muddy. Anyway, yeah, those are our big 3 largest events every year. And they all happen in February. Well, when you do decide to go to the gem show, you have to let me know. And we'll see what we can do about arranging something we can go together. I don't have a car, but I do know my way around town. I've lived here since 1985. Although I haven't been very far in the last couple of years. On the 4th of March, it's been 2 years. I've left this house 6 times in the last 2 years, and 3 of those times were for vaccines. I know. Oh, I feel sorry for all of them. All of them. All those animals. And they'll give you that line about how, well, they're the best taken farm animals that you could find because they make so much money for the Rodeo Association. I'm sorry, but a farmer's milk cow that you rely on their milk for sustenance is going to get taken care of. A bull that gets too old to buck and bronc anymore gets a bullet in the head. And he's too tough to even send to the meat packer. Yeah. domestic animal torture show. PETA's very active here because of that domestic animal torture show. Because we also have a Mexican rodeo here. And they treat their animals really bad. They come up from Mexico for this rodeo. And it's a sanctity of life issue with me. So, but oh gee, this is a surprise. I'm a spiritual person. Why would I honor the sanctity of life? It's like I have a mouse problem in my grow room. And all the growers I know are like, why aren't you killing them? Why are you taking them outside and releasing them again? I can't kill them. I can't kill them. They have just as much right to walk the face of this earth as I have. And that's my point of view. I'm not any more superior than any other living creature. So why should I kill it? Now, if I'm hungry, that's different. If I need it to survive, that's different, because I'm going to give homage to the spirit for the sustenance. Okay. No, I don't. Only thing I kill that's in this house are spiders, because we have bad spiders. But they are, brown recluse, black widows. Those guys aren't too cool. I mainly have daddy long legs. So, and I keep looking up like this, is I have a great big one that lives right directly above here. And every time I've tried to kill it, spirit tells me no. So I guess it's an elemental that's supposed to be there. It's always in the same spot. It only moves if I blow on it. I mean, most of the time you'd think it was dead. And it's a big daddy long legs. Daddy long legs is the most poisonous spider on the face of the earth, but their mouth parts are too small to bite you. When I was a little kid, I used to pull their legs off. I was a rotten kid. I'm talking about the sanctity of life, and then I go into about pulling the legs off of daddy long legs. I'm just kidding. I pull them all off on one side, and they try to get away. They go around in a circle. Well, if you don't kill spiders and you get an infestation, you can't live in your house. Even tenting it becomes difficult, because you get a spider infestation. It's bad. It's especially here with the brown recluse, because they just want to be where it's cool and dark. That's in every closet, every drawer, in your shoes. I never in my life ever heard of picking up a shoe. I'm looking for a shoe. Sorry, I go barefooted 90% of the time. Picking up a shoe and shaking it, hitting it on the ground before you put them on, just in case there's a spider in there. Or you get bit. Or a scorpion if you live out and about. I live in the city. We don't have scorpions in the city. But if you live out in the county, you're going to have scorpions. You're going to have black widows, tarantulas, all of that. I don't have rattlesnakes either because I'm in the city. But I have all the birds of prey, coyotes, the big mammals and stuff. I got them. And I got the spiders. But yeah, that I listen to spirit when spirit tells you no, like that. Ooh, okay. And like I see this spider, I go to get my Cannerade. I'm like, I've never seen the spider eating anything. I've never seen anything in its nest. I swear to you, it looks dead. And you blow on it and it'll move a leg or two. And move a little bit. But then the next time you look at it, it's right back where it was. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. So yeah, I went to get my Cannerade, and it's like as I'm reaching up, spirit went, no. I was, okay, sorry. Okay. I won't kill that spider. The rest of them get the Cannerade. especially over my bed. No spider dropping on my head in the night. Thank you. The other thing we have a lot of here is cockroaches. Not me. And it doesn't matter how clean you keep your house, because they come up through the sewer. I've seen them swim up through the toilet. And we're talking like palmetto bugs, not the little German dudes. We're talking like this, and they fucking fly. Cockroaches that fly. Palmetto bugs fly too. So yeah, they look a lot like a palmetto bug. Well, I need to let you guys go. And thank you all for coming. I like this. And someone comes in and I get to just like talk to you one-on-one. It's nice. It's really nice. Thank you. You have a wonderful day and a better week. Don't let current events get to you. Try to laugh as much as you can. Oh, yeah. Scorpion and tarantulas in the house. Yeah. That does. Yeah, one time I got stung by a scorpion. My mom had it was in their camp trailer too. We were out camping at the Chiricahua National Monument. And my mom had one of those dish towels that, it's the crocheted thingy with the button that attaches it over like your handle for your dishwasher or your stove. And so I just grabbed that to dry my hands. Well, there was a scorpion in one of the folds, and he nailed me on my little finger. Oh man, that hurt for days and days and days. My finger got really big and red, and oh man, I don't like scorpions, thanks. Tarantulas, I used to have a boyfriend that had one of those for a pet. I've held a tarantula. I've actually let a tarantula walk up my arm. That's the only spider I won't kill. They'll jump at you if you try to kill them. And they're too big, thank you. See a tarantula rears up like this, leave him alone. Because he's showing you his fangs for a reason. It's because you're going to lay them into you. They aren't poisonous, but damn, them fangs are big and they hurt. It's like if a hummingbird could sting you with their beak. Yeah, tarantulas. We have, and I've seen them in the house, sun spiders. I was talking about them one day. They had those in Iraq and Afghanistan, actually. No. I can't remember which one of those places. The camel spiders that are like this big. They literally shoot them. Our vets would shoot them with a gun. And they're creepy looking things. Camel spiders. We have a little mini version here. It's called a sun spider. They only have a lifespan of about 2 weeks, but they live off of scorpions, black widows. They live off scorpions and spiders. My ex-husband and I used to live up in the foothills where you're going to get a lot of scorpions. Anywhere there's a lot of rocks, you're going to get scorpions and tarantulas. When we lived up in the foothills, we had a scorpion by our front door. So he grabbed it, shoved it in a mayonnaise jar, put the lid on it, poked holes in it because he's going to keep it alive. I'm like, oh, brother, okay, whatever. Then the next day, there's this creepy looking bug that kind of looked like a cross between one of those crickets that lives underground, weird looking cricket, and an ant. But its mandible, its mouth, had 4 pincher-like thingies that worked individually. I'm like, oh my God, that looks like that crawled up out of hell. So I grabbed another jar, shoved that thing in the jar. We have an arachnid society here. in Tucson. So I called them. He had 8 legs. So I'm thinking it's got to be an arachnid, right? So I called them. Technically, what you have there is a sun spider. He is not an arachnid. Well, I guess you could say he's arachnid because he has 8 legs, but he lives on arachnids. That's his meal. If you have one of those in your house, I suggest you put him under your bed and leave him alone because he will keep scorpions and black widows and brown recluse out of your house for the next 2 weeks. And I'm like, for the next 2 weeks? He's like, that's about how long they live. Oh, okay. So I'm like telling my ex-husband about it. And he's like, what? Really? They eat scorpions? Yeah. Well, he's got his jar with his scorpion. I got my jar with the sun spider. Let's combine them in the same jar. Put that sun spider in the bigger jar with the scorpion. And they did this. And the scorpion nailed that sun spider 5 times with his tail. On the 5th time, the sun spider was like, oh, curling up like spiders do with their legs, right? And when that scorpion reached out with his pincher to get that sun spider, the sun spider flipped that scorpion over and started eating him from the inside out. I'm like, whoa, cool fake out, man. The sun spider was playing dead to kill and eat the scorpion. I mean, he was eating the scorpion alive. He literally was eating it from the face first with those creepy looking things. So I love sun spiders. I don't care how creepy they are. My mom just said, oh, we used to call those children of the earth when I was a kid. Yeah, because that's what they look like. They look like they crawled out of hell. But look what they eat. Man, that scorpion, only thing left of the scorpion was his stinger and his outer skeleton. That's pretty creepy. It was pretty cool to watch, though. I was like, let's see what happens when we put them in the same jar. It was amazing. It was cool. Well, I'll leave you on that note and let you think about scorpions and sun spiders. For everything that is dangerous, there is something else more dangerous for it. You know, you got the cobra, you got the mongoose. What can I say? Yeah, it is creepy. It was really weird. So if you see one of those, I'm sure they got them up in Sedona. They have them all over the place. They're all over the Sonora Desert. So yeah, you see a sun spider. Actually, just Google it and get an image of them. You'll see what I'm talking about. Oh my God, you think scorpions are creepy looking? These things look like a cross between an ant and a spider and I don't know what else. Those things on the front. And they have big, giant, like muscles behind those things on the front that make it look like they're stingers, but they're not. Well, maybe they are. I don't know, but they don't bother humans. They're very shy. Every time I've seen one, they like try to stay in the dark. So they're not aggressive at all. But they do give you the creeps when you see them. Kind of like a vinegarone. Have you seen a vinegarone? That's the scorpion without a tail. Well, he has a little, looks like a wire for a tail. Don't kid yourself. The reason they call him a vinegarone, it's because out of that little wire for a tail, they shoot out acetic acid. It runs off the predators. Birds don't like vinegar. So they shoot out vinegar out that thing. So it's called a vinegarone. Yeah, creepy looking too. But they won't hurt you. Well, they'll pinch you with their pinchers, but they won't hurt you like a scorpion will nail you. A scorpion will get you with their pinchers too. Actually, a scorpion will hold on to you with pinchers so they can nail you with the tail. You know, when I lived in Oregon, we had scorpions up there. And they were little teeny tiny little black things. But they would make you very, very sick if they got you. Which I found that really interesting because a lot of snow used to be up there. In those days, there was a lot of snow. They don't have that much snow anymore, obviously. It's about burned away last year. All of that. Dawning of the age of Aquarius. I keep telling myself, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is coming. Aquarius is here. It's just astrologically just starting out. And we've been waiting for a long, long time. I mean, God, that song by the Fifth Dimension is like from 1968, 69. And they were all hoping for it back then. How many years has it been? 50? Yeah. We're finally here. It's a lot more than we bargained for. But the result will be too. So keep that in your heart and in your mind. And breathe. That's the thing I forget. Wow, it's getting windy out. It's getting windy. It's blowing my backdrop. Yeah. I have to remind myself to breathe. I find myself going down that, my ego being afraid, that worry. Oh my God, what if they do the nukes? What if? I was taught by a psychiatrist years ago, if you do what if, you better be prepared to take it all the way. You want to play the what if game? Play the what if game. See your result. You might be surprised, because sometimes that what if that you think is the big disaster is going to be your biggest blessing in the end. I got fibromyalgia. It stole my life. I thought. My life was so busy on that hamster wheel. I had my head so far shoved in the sand. I was willing to work 16-hour days. I didn't care. As long as you paid me accordingly, that was fine. I was a computer programmer. I was going to make money. And I had fibromyalgia. Couldn't work anymore. Blew up that dream. What do you do with your life after that? Well, you learn that if you hurry up, you hurt. So you slow down. And you learn to smell the roses. And you learn that when you look at a bush, the bush isn't just green and brown. It's gray and red and purple and all these other colors. When you start looking at things a little deeper that way, stop and smell the roses, you learn things like, I can paint. So whatever the universe removes from your life, understand something much better is coming. When that door closes, a bigger, brighter door opens. Don't be afraid of change. And don't be afraid of the unknown. Sometimes it has a price, but you're going to make it through it. The universe has your back. Trust it. Trust it. I love you all. My goodness, 2 hours and 38 minutes. I'm going to go and get myself something to eat. I haven't eaten all day. I've been awake since 4 a.m. I think it's time to eat. I'll see you guys. Thank you so much. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Be kind to one another. Most of all, be kind to yourself. You're worthy. I love you.